How are you doing?
I'm good. You?
Very well, thank you so much.
No.
Thank you
Hey,
for
sorry. I usually would call with my good mic and stuff, but the internet's out here in Austin, so I'm
no
having to
problem,
call from my phone.
no problem at all. It's the feeling that matters, and no matter whether it is SM57 or SM58, the emotion transfers as long as
Yeah,
they're authentic.
yeah, absolutely.
Cool,
How
cool.
have you been? Sorry,
I've
I've
been,
got
I've
four
been doing
kids,
good.
so it gets a little loud here.
No problem. Yes, that's fine. Well, I've been good. I was trying some, old masters and trying to use Ozon's AI master,
Mm,
technique to see if I can warm them up more or, you know, expand the size. We are in the times of loudness wars, and
yeah,
I am personally out of it now. But I think these platforms, they neuter. I would use the word the loudness somewhat, and it's clipping sometimes, and they destroy the beauty of it. So I have
yeah,
tried to become, I would say, conservative, at least in context of sound engineering, uh, trying to maintain the dynamic range instead of, trying to
mm,
show my gymnastics, so to say.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I
So
like I in the metal world, I like it like over compressed and like really loud because it provides like that even dynamic across the board. But in rock and other genres, especially like hip hop and things like that, I like that dynamic range. But in metal, it's like you almost have to crush it. I use clippers on everything and L1 on everything. It's
yes, I'm a big
yeah,
fan of Slipknot's masters,
yeah,
especially the what do you call duplicity?
yeah, yeah. Duality.
Yeah, duality. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it was produced by Rick Rubin, right?
Yeah, that one was. I don't know how much Rick Rubin actually produced on that. I remember Corey Taylor saying that they had a horrible time with Rick Rubin. They were
Yes,
never going to use him again.
yes.
So
But
I don't know.
I can hear Rick Rubin in it. It's very hard to understand Rick Rubin because
Yeah,
Rick Rubin himself does not try to understand himself because he's always trying to find the chemistry between something groovy and catchy
yeah,
and with a sonic depth to it. So
right.
he doesn't have and he doesn't claim to have any idea of what he's doing. But what I can
Yeah,
see
yeah.
from the stuff that he has produced for especially System of a Down,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely am a big admirer of because only when you jump out of beyond your imagination, beyond the possibilities, and have very lofty sound and music goals, then only you can create history. Otherwise, it becomes just another recording. And in the times where we are fighting with social media and porn, creating a mark in music is a huge ask, especially with the cheese and crackers that the Spotify is paying. Any magic that you can create is worthwhile.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And that's, that the Spotify streaming cheese and crackers that you're talking about is the reason why I started wanting to help people as much as possible.
Mhm.
Um, I had a long history of running businesses and I'm also an artist and that's a rare thing I think these days to have people that understand how much you need structure but at the same time are willing to think outside of the box and be an artist. I think a lot of people are either artist types that don't like structure at all or they don't think they like structure at all, and then you have like over structured people. So I'm trying to bridge that gap a lot, and teach people how to not rely on Spotify streams to make a living. Because I think we're in a world right now. I shouldn't say I think. I know we're in a world right now where you can make a living with music with only 20, 30 fans.
Right. Okay, really?
And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because if you think about it, and this is, I just started writing a book, which was the reason why I was, so for people watching, um, we had met because I was sending out DMs to try to get people into my free coaching program to help people with their business mindsets. And I was doing that because I'm writing a book and I want to try to get this information out to as many people as possible. Because my main goal right now is to make it so that music business is as respected and reliable as opening a small business. Like a restaurant, for instance, if you were to open a restaurant, nobody would be like, "Oh, you need to go get a real job." They would think, "Oh, that's admirable. You're opening a restaurant." So when I was writing this book, I was thinking about music business from the aspect of how would you run a restaurant? And restaurants, you don't need 10,000 fans to keep a restaurant going and to pay 10 employees to run the place. They pay people's bills with 100, 200 people that come to that restaurant on a regular basis. And so translating that to music has been super fun, and I'm at the beginning of that cycle, almost done with the book. It's written, I just need to edit it. So I think in like 3 weeks is when it's going to be out, and I'm hoping it's going to change the world.
It is definitely going to change the world because I am in an intersection of opening a restaurant and have
Oh,
a
yeah,
business. I mean,
yeah,
in music for a long time, all my life.
yeah.
In fact, I was in Austin in January, and
That's
I
where I'm living right now. Yeah,
yes, and
yeah.
I went to a couple of venues and performed over there, and they offered me the ham membership, and
Yeah,
yeah, and then they keep on sending me these. I'm in New York right now. These listings of $500 apartments, and they said even you don't have to pay that. Just come over and we'll figure out. So
yeah,
I definitely would love to, and I'm giving you an open offer as well. If somebody is looking to partner with someone, I have I love cooking as well. Not so much into drinking, but whatever comes,
yeah.
whatever works, and into stand-up comedy as well. I performed at the Shakespeare's pub next to
Oh, yeah. Next to
uh,
Mothership.
yeah,
Yeah,
membership, yeah. And but again, because Austin, I'm into tech as well. I recently am working on an app, just like you're working on a book. I'm working on an app where I will give more autonomy to the musicians. And because this reel and just YouTube structure and like Spotify, it sucks. And also people who have been busking all their life, because in the AI era, things are coming back full circle into live performances, especially in
yeah.
context of metal and hard rock. It's all about live performance and interaction, and like Austin is the live music capital of the world, and the
Right.
tech capital as well.
And comedy capital now too. Yeah,
And of course, because of Kill Tony, everybody was
yeah,
asking me if you were on Kill Tony. I had no idea what Kill Tony was uh, until
that's
I came back
yeah,
and became a huge fan of it as well. But what I'm trying to say is that the business model is extremely important, and
yeah,
I would love to hear your insight about how 20 to 30 big fans, hardcore fans, can change your life. Because at the end of the day, I'm not sure if the merch is selling the way it used to be, because
yeah.
like every business model, people are looking for a support structure, because that's what the labels provided back in 80s and 90s. And but again, like everything else, they become mafia-like, and greedy,
Hmm.
and make destroy a good thing, like Robert De Niro said in the movie Casino. Why fuck a good thing? And they become and that's what's happening. Because if you look at it from a different angle, streaming can be amazing, because If somebody buys your CD back in the day for $10, that's the cap that you have from every fan. And now,
Yeah.
if keep on streaming, as long as they're streaming, even Michael Jackson, if he would have been alive, if he was alive, he would be making more money today. But then, he was in debt and he got crazy, and then he lost control. So there are more chances, but at the same time, this business model is abused as well. They give the numbers to all the Adeles and the Taylor Swifts of the world and Beyonces of the world, but I'm not sure if they are making money beyond live concerts, because and then it also comes back full circle when you find out that even Lady Gaga makes small margin over whatever she spends on the live performances and organizing, and all the props, and all the theater that she puts up. So we have to find somewhere in between. You have to read between the lines,
Yeah.
and see how we figure it out. And yeah, tell me what's your uh, feedback on that.
Yeah. So I think we're in a situation now where the music itself just doesn't make the money that it used to make. But if you can flip it on its head and look at the music, okay, well, I guess a good starting point would be you can make money on music alone if you have the money to invest in running ads, in influencer marketing, in advertising for shows, so on and so forth. There's a lot of like if you spent $20,000 to $100,000 per release, you could. Oh, sorry, somebody's calling. If you spent 20 to 100,000 per release, you can make a lot of money in music. But I think on the indie side, people are trying to do that and they're not getting the outcome because they're not able to invest that sort of money in it. And on top of that, in the business world, you have things like SLOs, which are self-liquidating offers, where you can run an ad and it turns into income that you can then use to fund the ad more and then take the leftovers. You also don't have that in music. A lot of the times you're running ads to get people onto Spotify, giving Spotify customers getting 0.003 cents per stream and losing all that revenue, all that money that you spent on the ad and getting no revenue for it. So if you can flip that on the head and look at what skill sets you already have, and most musicians already have a ton of skill sets that they can monetize because they are artists at their core. So you have film, which I think a lot of people go and make music videos independently, and that's where it stops. But if you look at the film industry, they make a lot of money in a lot of different ways, whether it be teaching people how to run film, or it be making short videos, it's social media content with film. Those are all different business models, and you can get really creative there to try to figure out, okay, well, if my skill set is making music and matching it to a film, how can I combine those two things to use my music to advertise? Because you're using your music to build awareness for your brand, and your brand has another business model behind it. So film's one. I think everybody tries to do social media as a business, but not everybody's cut out for that. And so if you're not, then don't try to be. And I think that's where a lot of artists get burnt out. But you can, if you're really good at social media, make that your business. And I think that's where a lot of musicians that make money nowadays, they have a social media business, not a music business, right? Live performing, that's another business model. Picking one of these and, you know what I mean, not trying to do all of them at once is super crucial because you're going to get burnt out. You're not going to do anything well. Running communities, having an exclusivity model where you're really good at selling VIP stuff or exclusive merch or exclusive items, trading cards, things like that. Um, if you're really into aesthetics, clothing lines, the way that you look, graphic design, things like that, you could use that as a business model. Leadership, people that like to teach, coach, make YouTube content to tell people how to do stuff. Then there's obviously licensing, like sync licensing, which is huge. But again, if you're not focused on sync licensing entirely, it's really hard to break into that. I was telling somebody the other day that like when it comes to t-shirts, there are so many t-shirt companies out there that make niche t-shirts and they think about t-shirts 24/7. Why do you think that you can just put a t-shirt online and run ads to it and all of a sudden you're going to make a bunch of money when they're already out there doing it, right? So it's a little more nuanced than that. Um, so you have to be all in and trying to figure out how can I make money off of this one thing. Advertising is another thing. If you're really good at advertising, you can just dump money and, like I said, do the SLO thing where you have a t-shirt that sells for enough money that you can run ads and then, but advertising in itself is a skill set, right? Writing, there's a lot of writers that write books that are also musicians and trying to find the connection. What's in alignment with who you are. If you can, I've got a client, he writes books and writes stories and things, and then he also has music, and now he's making an audio dramatization of his book with his music in it. Genius way to do it. And then you could sell that book, that audio book, as a resource. And then for you, comedy. If you're good at comedy, make that part of your business model and just figure out how your music and your comedy go together and sell it as a package.
That's right. That's what I try to
So
do. I mean,
yeah,
the other day I was speaking to one of my session musicians, and she said that your songs sound like Jack Black. You know,
yeah,
because yeah, I was always into AC/DC, and the fun element aspect of or the White Stripes, or bands like that, or Black Keys, the humorous angle of because when I was young, an upcoming musician, I used to write ballads and sad songs, or maybe the 80s and 90s were those time. But
right.
now I like to just spread happy and good vibes. And but at the same time, the like you said, that complacency is a big issue. If you
Yeah.
have the skills, that's not enough. And like I mentioned in the beginning, our competition is not fellow musicians. Our competition is our competition is social media. Our competition
Netflix. Yeah.
is Netflix. Our
Yeah.
competition is anything. I have another podcast called Attention Economy. Anything that
Beautiful. Yeah.
it's your attention is basically our competition. And then we have to see that sometimes I feel there are more musicians than the audiences, you know
Yeah. Yeah.
because everything is accessible through YouTube. Anybody can become a guitarist, anybody can become a singer, and with of course the effort put in. But what's missing right now is the magic, because music does not work if it's not magic, because no matter how many ads you may put, and that's why you hear shitty music on the radio. Not in Austin, I love Austin's radio, but over here in New York
Yeah.
and in Long Island, they are still playing the 60s and 70s Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and Doors, and of those times. So they're not even have not even graduated to grunge, and sometimes they play grunge, but mostly it's the nostalgia of Beatles and Beatlemania and all those times. So, but the difference is obviously being Michael Jackson is not alone. You have to be you need to find Quincy Jones, and because it really is about packaging the ideas, production ideas with music,
Hmm.
and finding the superpower or the magic bullet between the sonic and the musical aspect of a song or whatever. So
And visual. Yeah.
because that's a craft on its own, and yeah. So what do you think about that?
Yeah. I think the thing that I teach a lot is alignment, trying to find who you are, your authenticity and your skill set, and trying to find that middle ground where everything seems to connect
Yes.
along with your business model, right? So that you can create something absolutely unique. And I feel like that's what's missing. The people that are trending or are doing really well, they are completely aligned with who they are and their audience, right? They whatever they're doing, it makes sense for them. It makes sense for their personality. When you try to be something that you're not, things start to fall apart and nothing's working for you. So that's where the magic is. That's where Michael Jackson shined. That's where Justin Timberlake's shined. That's where, like Slipknot, AC/DC,
Not-
that's where they all shine. Kiss was
Yes,
like a great example. Just taking on this full brand with the face paint, with the theatrics
yes,
and the looks and everything was in itself a culture. And I feel like that's what a lot of artists are missing. They're missing the culture of their music. It's just music, then it's not going to sell. There's a lot of AI music, and that's why I'm not afraid of it, because I know that there will be a culture for AI music, but then there's going to be cultures that are built by people, and those are the ones that are going to shine, because music music in itself is only as valuable as the message that's the feeling and the message that's contained within it. And it's not necessarily the message of the song, but it is the message of the identity that the fan is attaching themselves to by listening to it.
that's true. That's true. Exactly. I mean, uh, I totally endorse you in the sense that I've also tried to find my voice over here at Brooklyn Music Kitchen. I try to come up with a unique storytelling, like you're saying, branding,
Yeah,
a positioning of sort, because that was also, I think, in the days of labels as well, 80s and 90s. Bands were famous for whatever, XYZ unique thing that they used to do, whether it was Pearl Jam, whether it was Nirvana, whether it was Guns N' Roses, whether it is Judas Priest, whether it is Iron Maiden, Metallica. And also, you need to have a distinct. I mean, that's what I tried to find my voice at Brooklyn Music Kitchen, by doing songs in an unconventional way, like for example,
yeah,
Michael Jackson or Guns N' Roses or AC/DC or Free or Deep Purple, in a way which is because many of the youngsters, they haven't heard these songs, and these are like the real deal, or Queen, so to say, and give my own rendition to it, because these are the songs that do not filter with the passage of time, sonically
yeah,
as well as creatively, in terms substance of writing, songwriting, and musicality. So I do definitely agree with you that, yeah, you need to carve your own niche, and because even like you mentioned, Netflix covers everything, Paramount and Tubi, or HBO, or as many apps, because theater is all cinema itself is dying, and now it's coming on video on demand, whether it is Amazon Prime or YouTube, so to say. So
yeah,
there's a lot more available, and the scarcity or the demand that was there, because back in the day there were not so many channels. Cable TV was limited, and now, yeah, everybody has got a channel on YouTube,
yeah.
and a lot of them have a lot of good stories as well, but only 10% people are making money, and that's why I made this app called Toxi. It's in final phases, and what you can do is, any follower of yours or fan of yours, like you mentioned, even 30 people, 30 big hardcore fans can help you continue your journey and dream. If you have like 5,000 followers or even 1,000 followers, and people want to stay in touch with you, and what it brings is that, for every $5 that you spend, I mean, if they want to talk to you directly for audio call, that's $5 for 5 minutes. For
Yeah.
video call, it's $10 for 5 minutes, and then you can make a living wage if your art is deep, and if it creates the mileage that it deserves. And like you said, keep beating your own drums, and
Yeah.
telling your story, and maybe with payola, the radio stations used to shove it down our throat, and now we shouldn't be ashamed or shy of telling
Shove
our
it.
story through the
Doing it yourself.
megaphone.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. And to your business model there, this is something I tell people all the time. The only way that works is if you make yourself scarce. I see a lot of artists spend a lot of time on threads talking to people, picking up the phone, letting people message them in the DM, and that's all fine if you've got a different business model. But if you want to sell $5 for somebody to talk to you, then you have to be scarce. You have to not have time to talk to them, and they want to pay you for it. Otherwise, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Um, and be grateful for the 20 people that you do have that actually want to do that, because like we were saying, Netflix, there's so many other things they could be spending their time doing, and family entertainment. There's so many good shows out there that they could be watching, so many YouTube channels they could be on, and instead they're choosing to spend, like our podcast has about 20 live viewers every Thursday, and then probably another 60 that watch it on the replay. And I'm cool with that. I don't need thousands,
Right.
because I know those people are showing up every week, and I'm grateful that they are, because I know that that's an hour, 2 hours of their life they're not going to get back, and they're willing to spend it just watching us talk about music. And um, yeah, so there's some gratitude there. And then um, there was somewhere I was going with that, and then I lost track.
No
But
problems. Yeah.
either way, uh, 20 people is a lot, and you should appreciate them for, what you appreciate appreciates. And that's sort of the core of how I've been able to make a living, is by providing more value than the cost. So if somebody buys something, how can I provide as much value that, so we have like $75 shirts listed, and that seems like a lot of money.
Mhm.
But I know that the cost of this I'm getting into the weeds on how to make it with only 20 or 30 fans. But um when you're pricing your shirts at like $13, let's say, or $15, you're talking about $5 per shirt that you make in profit, because it costs about 10 to $12 to get them printed. um that's not a lot of money. You have to sell, just to make $50, you have to sell 10 shirts. $500, you got to sell 100 shirts. That's a lot of shirts to sell. But if you price them at 75, and you're really good at creating some exclusivity, and you're really good at adding value that doesn't cost you anything, right? Like signing cards and writing letters in it, finding free ways to add value to those deliveries, packaging it yourself, making the box, making it feel like a real experience, adding things on top. Like we're doing trading cards, like gold foil trading cards, and you have a chance of getting one every order. Um, Finding more ways to bring that value up to the customer, but your cost isn't going up as much as the value is going up for them.
That's
And
right.
so a $75 shirt doesn't seem so bad anymore. And now you have that extra money to pay for the mistakes you're going to make, because you are going to make mistakes,
Of
to
course.
pay for like if you get it printed and it gets delivered to you and it looks like crap, sending it, you have to send it back, and it's going to take time. So to be able to pay for the quality, and making sure the value is there, and then to be able to scale beyond that, and now you have leftover money you can put into ads to try to go and find new uh, fans. I almost call them customers, because that's kind of how I feel about it.
That's right.
Um, and so that's really the way to go, is to price yourself in a way and deliver the value, and really appreciate the people that you've got around, the small amount of people that you've got around, because they're the ones that are going to go spread the word about the value that you're providing them, and they're going to continue to want to spend money, because they're getting um, they feel like you're over delivering every single time, as opposed to under delivering.
That's right. The
Yeah,
biggest problem, David, is that the villain is the algorithm.
yeah,
You know, it keeps
yeah.
on shifting, and this is where for example, if you have like uh, 10 followers, who want to talk to you, you can end up making $120 an hour, and I think because these companies have become, trillion-dollar companies based on the content that, these creators create. So I want to create a creators economy where, this buffer between them, because now this notion is becoming obsolete, of these reels and these images. when they can directly contact you, and they know that you are getting paid for that, then why not? Just taking out, for example, if there is a fan of yours and they want to have a coffee with you, that's going to take 10-20 dollars. So why not just give them a call and make sure that it's contributing to their progress and growth, because the streaming thing is, whether it is Spotify, whether it is Facebook, whether it is YouTube, whether it is Instagram, these are hogs. And
Yeah.
and of course, how long can you fight? Whether it is podcast, whether it is a live performance, whether it is a cover, whether it's an original, whether it's a music video. So the struggle is endless, and it's because they are making money in the middle, and
Yeah.
with AI on your at your disposal, and you can toss up your ideas, whether it is merch, whether it is any campaign strategies. I keep on asking, my Copilot, or Microsoft Copilot, and it keeps recommending, because they know my character, they know that I'm into comedy and music. They talk to me in the same way and keep suggesting me things. So whether it is promotional side, whether it is a new gimmick to launch a new single, it can come, we can use AI. And of course, with technology such as Ozone, it takes many hours of work into many days of work, and sometimes you cannot find the sweet spot and mix or master, and now you can just publish it on just like a bespoke solution,
Yeah.
where you put a reference and you get the output right away. So of course, the support structure is needed, and at the same time, like you mentioned, that we they have a lot of things available. But like I said, with stand-up comedy, let's suppose, the demand for sitcom is gone, because those simple superimposed laughters were, they now seem fake now,
Oh,
because
I still love them.
yeah,
I still love them.
yeah.
Yeah.
And with all this live thing, the live phenomenon, and crowd work and things like
Hmm.
that are giving a new solution, or a paradigm, or a platform for even musicians to showcase their things, because people can now tell the real thing. And you, if you have got the chops, then for example, another example is guitar solos. Those are missing in today's songs, and for me it was a craft in its own. It was an art
Yeah.
form in its own. And
I'm bringing them back.
yeah.
I still keep them in my song. I've got one song, our actually highest performing song, the first minute and a half of the song is the actual song, and then the last 2.5 minutes is nothing but a guitar solo
Oh, that's
all
great.
the way through. Yeah.
That, that's
Yeah.
great. I mean, I only admire, it's been like 35 years, and the solo of November Rain or Estranged is still growing on me, whether it's the hook or the main solo. And those are like masterpieces
Yeah.
in its own. And over the next century, even, they will carry weight, because they are unique, and they came from a place of deep passion and dedication to art.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's weird. I think we're in a world where people are over producing, overthinking, trying to create that moment in a song that they can turn into a reel, and then trying to build a song around it, and then the song itself doesn't, it's not good, and then they keep it down to a 2 minute mark so that they can get on playlist. And cool, fine, I'm cool with that, because that's what you're going to do. But and if that's what works, it works. I'm not going to deny if it works or not. I think it does work. It just doesn't make great music.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, in 2 minutes you can't get a hard on, you know. How can you
Yeah,
can, get started, and those were 7 minute song. Whether it is I would do anything for love or November Rain or Estranged, and sometimes I feel like I can play this song forever. Like for example, Highway to Hell. I can go
yeah,
on, and sometimes I do half an hour, 30 minutes live from Instagram, or
yeah,
and so that attention span thing comes back full circle, because everything is repetitive, and I used to upload my entire song, because for me just uploading the chorus or the hook, or trying to create a hook out of that is boring and superficial. But if that's what algorithm wants, I can do that. The sad part is that neither of it is working, because when the algorithm finds that you are dedicated and you are posting it with the consistency, then they
mhm,
know that you are in it to win it, and then they start asking you money for boosting it, and they try to make you look bad in front of your other followers by not giving you likes and views,
yeah,
and what do they call that, impressions, and
yeah.
they want extra money from you as well. So which I never do. But like you said, this advertising is real, and I recently wrote a book on how AI can facilitate, law. And I did got a certification in that, and how, lawyers manipulate the people, and
Let
now.
me let me tell you this. When before we moved to Austin, I was in Illinois, and there was a management company that owned our house. It was a bank that ran it. They sold to another company, and that company wanted us to move out. We were 1 week late on rent, and they had already sent us an eviction notice, even though our lease with the previous company didn't allow for that. Because of I was able to draft up some of the best responses to them to keep things above board and make sure that I was doing everything in the proper legal way. And at the end, I sent them the money to pay for rent, and they didn't take it. And so I was like, okay, I tried to give it to you and you didn't get it. So you can't evict me now,
Exactly, you get
right?
back money, yeah.
And so what, because of I was able to get out of that house. They actually paid us $2,500 plus 2 months of rent for free in order for us to move within 2 weeks,
Thank you.
because they knew that they had no legal ramifications, because I didn't make any mistakes because of AI walking me through the process.
It's all
So
about mistakes. If you don't make a
yeah,
mistake, and if you just wait for them to make the mistake, then you win the lawsuit. I have
yeah,
fought my case everywhere, from housing court to IRS to immigration to everywhere, on myself, even before AI. But with AI, you have access to all the case law precedents, and you can, reference any of the cases. And thankfully, the lawyers are so evil, and with evil becomes stupid as well, and with stupid, it brings on mistakes as well. And
yeah.
the legal system is all about mistakes, and pivoting on that and capitalizing on others' mistakes. And like you rightfully said, if you don't make a mistake, you got nothing to lose, because the law is there. It's just that they manipulate it and they misguide you, and try to scare you into and pressure you into making mistakes. And if you
Yeah,
don't.
that was exactly it. The like I said, 1 week late, they had already sent an email and said, "Hey, we're going to charge you legal fees plus this. You get this eviction notice." And it wasn't time for that yet. But the way they framed it, it made it feel like it was a 5 day notice, but it wasn't, because they legally couldn't. And I scanned it all in. I kept checking with ChatGPT. Hey, is this legal? Can they do this? This doesn't make any sense. I thought I had 2 weeks, so on and so forth. And yeah, it saved us for sure.
I mean, I always I have an actual bit on it that I say that lawyers are snitches basically, and
Yeah,
uh, yeah, and especially the pro bono are the biggest snitches. They are just there to frame you and set you up
yep,
towards losing. So and of course, and I think I'm very optimistic about the role of AI into law, because 90% of the world's problems are because of the lawyers, because majority of politicians are also lawyers, and that's the reason of human suffering, because the law has been carved to facilitate. Initially, it was monarchy and
yeah,
the
yeah,
the Vatican City, but over the years, all the governmental branches are the offshoots of the Italian structure of parliament, and the American law is also an offshoot of the British law, so which was
yes,
to facilitate monarchy. So, but law itself has no issues in it. It's the interpretation and the double
yep.
standard that these evil lawyers create, and
They expect you to not know, and
of course.
they yeah,
I mean,
and they abuse that.
even before AI, I was in a housing court situation, and I thought, I should take some legal aid. And the bastard was talking to my landlord when one time I went for a meeting, and I fired him right away. I said, I don't need you. And
Yeah,
and he was asking me to pay, like you said, half of the half updated rent, uh, till half, like for the latest month. And when I took it to the court, I had not paid for 4 months, and I end up getting $1,500 extra,
yeah,
because he
perfect.
was manipulating me, he was misguiding me of
Yeah.
my rights. So what I'm trying to say is that again we digressed in a different direction.
No,
What I'm saying is we
I
can.
think I think we could tie it into musicians because this is literally what happens when bands get signed to record labels. They get manipulated into contracts that seem great, but they're just glorified bank loans that they end up having to pay back. I love when people, instead of signing that contract, lease their music to the record label so they don't own the masters, or negotiate a deal where they have control and they have power versus the record labels. Because in the end, the record label is nothing but a bank. They're not really, especially nowadays, they're not really there to help an artist get to where they need to go. They're more so looking for people who are already established that they can put their money behind to boost them even more, so that they can get a return on their investment. And the second they don't get a return on their investment, that money's coming out of your pocket because they
Right.
failed at doing their job. And they're not really good at creating content or helping people create content or
That-
hiring the right people to do that.
that's right.
So
That's right. I mean,
um,
if you, even if you're, I mean, at least you should be loyal to your product that you are, placing out in the market. If you're
yeah,
not even taking care of that, and I think MTV has to be blamed for that as well. But if you are just focusing on, like you're saying, already established acts, and if you're looking for the next Charlie Puth, and just putting your money behind them and knowing that they're already making millions in streaming, so there is, and again, you ultimately end up in coercive contracts. And I was also offered a contract from a Texas based record label back in the day, but when
yeah.
I read the contract, I said, I should take, like you mentioned, loan from the bank myself, and put that money into trash, or risk it and do some
Yeah.
daring stuff and see if it pays.
And here's the thing. Why not just get a bank loan yourself and hire the people that you need to hire to get the thing done that you actually want. And that's, again, this is why I'm trying to reframe it back into this concept of, as a musician, you are an entrepreneur. Why not treat it like it was a business? Like you were opening your own business. instead of trying to pretend like it's something else, because it's I feel like musicians are afraid of the word business, like it's the F word. I made a post
Yes.
about that.
Yeah.
It's to me, business just means busy. um, and it's just a way of exchanging value
That's
for
right.
value.
That's right.
And money's just the representation of that value that you're exchanging.
That's right.
And it's a creative realm, it's a creative world. Musicians or creative people are the reason business exists, because they
Right.
created ideas to transform and create value for other people.
Right.
But somehow, over time, that that's been gradually given over to the managerial type people that are really good at organizing and structuring things, but aren't great at creating things.
Right.
We need to get back to a world where creative people are creating value for people and wrapping that up in a business so that you can actually sell. Music is like I've been talking about this for probably 2 months now.
Hmm.
Um, what is the value of music? It's got so much value to people. It helps them get through bad times. It helps them get through workouts. It helps them prepare to feel like they're going, like, set the mood for parties, set the mood for sex. There's so many things that you can do with music that it has value to us. Otherwise, we wouldn't listen to it as often as we do. Um,
Well,
and
I think there, sorry to interrupt, but I think
yeah,
there is no nothing real in this world. We are living in a consciousness simulation. Only
mhm.
music is real. And I say this because I recently, was in the Guitar Center at on the 14th Street in Manhattan. It's one of the best guitar centers, apart from the one in LA or in Chicago, near the
Yeah, I worked at the one in Chicago for a bit. Yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah,
So when I played this amazing keyboard, and I played a weighted action keys after a long time because I was into shitty MIDI controllers, and suddenly all the feelings came back to me from the O&W Korg days, and now they create shitty the shitty keyboard started from Triton and Trinity, and now and then I had Karma as well, Core Karma, and now they're like hollow bodies, and in a bad way. And so, a musical instrument is the only way where a human being can connect his internal world with this simulation that we are living in,
yes,
and that's the only experience that is real. Everything else is derivative, so to say, whether it is any art form.
yeah,
Maybe food is something that becomes part of us.
yeah.
Or
I agree with you. I tend to look at the what you would call simulation as more of like the spiritual connection, the spiritual realm. There is, I mean, this is what we're finding out with science, right? And you can call it different things because we don't really have words to describe exactly what it is,
Yeah.
but it is something, and you do feel that connection with music, and you can tap into music is so crazy in the fact that, like, you can hear a song and it can take you back to a point in time where you could vividly remember that song being
Yes,
played, and you
yes.
could see it, you could smell it, you can feel it. Nothing else does that.
I mean, I went to the Church of Satan in Salem,
Yeah.
checking out stuff, what the fuck it is, and it's
Is
all
that Levian Satanism,
no,
or is it
that's
a
that's a
different?
San Francisco one.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the Temple of Satan. Thank you for
Okay.
correction. That is Church of Satan. This is Temple of Satan, and it's bullshit basically. And but what's real is music. Music is the
Yeah.
real magic because it's based on vibrations, and a
Yeah.
body is based on vibrations, and every chord that we play stirs up some chemistry, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
That's time travel, uh,
Yeah.
because physically it's not possible to have time travel. The only way to do it is, you suddenly is struck with the memory when you heard the song first time, maybe, or some recent strong emotional connect or context that you had. So, and it's all imagination. And all the dreams, or afterlife, if there is any. That's it's all based on our imagination, and of course the stories that we have in our head, with regards to all the visuals that we have absorbed or observed. So yeah, so music is like you gave some several amazing examples of how in various aspects, whether it is driving, whether it is jogging, whether it is working out, whether it is taking a cold plunge, or a hot tub, or maybe just sitting in sauna.
Studying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So yeah, it's everywhere, and it is necessary, and as long as it is good, and good music is not easy to create. It's easy to create mediocre, regular, normal music, but it
Yeah.
takes a lot, and it's a craft in its own.
Right. Yeah. There's noise and then there's energy, right? You can create random noise and it doesn't really do anything, but a good song can take you on a roller coaster of emotion. And writing is this way too. And I think it's because it's in your head. Speaking, writing. Well, again, speaking is auditory,
Yes,
vibrations.
yes,
Reading, I think, because it's in your head, you can you can manipulate somebody's emotions with the words, with the sounds, with the thoughts. You can get people to feel certain things.
yeah,
And I grew up in church, and that was the one thing about church that they did really well was that um, they knew how to transform your thinking through music,
that's right.
through a rhythm over time, over the course of two or three songs.
Mhm.
It's the most powerful thing that I've ever seen in my life, music,
Yeah,
and I think we take it for granted as being that. Um,
I
and
mean,
because of that, we don't value it in the same way that we should.
we take breathing for granted. Now they're
Yeah, yeah,
finding out, and
true.
the intermittent hypoxia.
Yeah,
Take food for granted. Now they say there is
true.
intermittent fasting.
Unless you're fasting, I don't take food for granted when I'm
Yeah,
fasting.
and same is for water. The most
Yeah,
important of our life, or sleep, so to say. Uh,
yeah,
sleep is possibly the most important thing in our lives. Whether it is biohacking, whether it is stress relief, or whatever performance.
yeah.
For me, when you talk about auditory things, comedy. I think comedy is more powerful than sex, because sex you come, and comedy goes on, and it's also euphoria.
It never stops. Yeah,
Yeah.
right, right.
So
I
yeah.
I went
So
to I went to the mothership this past weekend and we watched a 3 hour show. We couldn't get into Kill Tony, but we went to the Little Boy, which is a small area. There it was 3 hours worth of comedy. Two and a half of it was like you can't have phones in there, so I didn't know what time it was, right? And so I'm like, oh, it's been about an hour and a half. I'm gonna go out for a cigarette and I'll come back in. I went outside and I pulled out my phone. It was like, oh, it's been 2.5 hours. It just time was not relevant at
yeah,
all
and
while I was in there.
that's the
Um,
same thing about music. Sometimes you
yeah,
don't feel the time passing by.
yeah, yeah.
You're
You
mixing and mastering something, and you time flies by.
that's yeah. I experience that all the time, and it kills my sleep schedule because I'll just be mixing something, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just let me get this right, and then I'll go to bed.
Yeah,
Next thing you know, it's 5 in the morning, and I'm still working on it. Um, it's crazy. It's a crazy world that we're in
yeah,
where $10 a month and you have access to all the music in the world.
yeah.
And I think that's not necessarily a good thing because we have access to so much of it all the time, even with videos, movies, Netflix, whatever, you have access to so much of it that the value is no longer there for you because you don't appreciate the things because they're not scarce anymore.
That's right.
And so um trying to create scarcity within things is helpful
I mean,
and create moments in your music, create moments in your fans lives where they remember things forever, instead of just releasing songs. Like really just try to find ways to create those moments.
that's true. But at the same time, another great thing about music is it doesn't require your attention. You could be
Yeah,
doing something else, and music is playing. For example, movies
yeah,
is you have to keep watching. Keep your eyes.
true, true.
on it
Yeah,
or other art forms. But the good thing about is it's and that's what happens. A good song keeps ringing in your head even if it is over. So and a good song never gets old as well.
yeah,
Yeah, still the 70s and the 60s. That I'm a huge Doors fan. So for me, they were better than Beatles, and for me, the Beatles are a little overrated. But again, you can be, and that's why radio is still thriving because in most countries, laborers, is doing their job and music is playing. And
yeah.
fast food you are eating, music is playing. That's the only art form where you don't need your attention, and you're not actually withdrawing anything. It's just giving it to you.
Right. Yeah, it just gives. It
Yeah.
just gives. We my mentor, he talks about this idea of stepping into another realm. I never had words to describe this before until he said that. I'm like, okay, that's exactly what we've been doing. When we go on stage, it's like stepping into another realm. You're Everything else is gone, nothing else is right, and we're just giving energy and they're giving it back, and it's this beautiful cycle. And when that doesn't happen, the show feels like trash.
Yes.
But when it goes well, everything else, nothing else in the world matters in that moment.
That's right.
And time doesn't exist.
That's right.
And you're just there.
Uh,
So it's addicting. It's
yes, it
really,
is.
I'm sure it's that way with comedy too. I haven't done stand-up comedy yet, but
Hmm.
I'm sure it's that way too. You step on stage and you're
Yeah.
going through your set and it
Well,
nothing else matters, just that moment. And
yes.
it's so rare to live in the present.
Yes.
It's so rare.
And the common element between music and comedy is that when you are on the stage and when you're performing, at least in my case, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing, you know,
Yeah.
just being part of the moment, like you're saying. But when I watch my recordings, then I want to criticize myself as well and try to improve as well. But then I realized that things that I thought would stir a response did not work well sometimes. And most of the stupid things and even some mistakes that I made while performing, like some chord changing errors or something, nobody knows and they enjoy it. And the same is
Yeah.
about stupid jokes, jokes that I put a lot of time in, writing. Sometimes they don't work, and sometimes the most casual one-liners they create momentum.
Yeah, I we played a show. It was like 600 people there. We were playing. We did a Slipknot cover towards the end of our set, and
Mm.
my E string broke. And if you know Slipknot, it's all drop D, so my E string breaking is horrible. Nobody knew.
Yes.
Nobody in the crowd knew that it broke. I knew, and it ruined it for me. But what you learn from doing those things over and over is if you don't let it affect you and you just continue to feed back that energy,
Yes.
nobody will care,
Not.
nobody will notice. You
Yeah.
just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, recently I was singing "Sweet Child of Mine," and that's the same situation. The E string broke. Actually, the guy who tuned the guitar, he put it a little tight, and it
yeah,
broke. And in the middle, I switched to the acoustic guitar, and the keyboardist continued the song. Continued playing the song, and then I got back into it again. And although it's a huge difference in terms of sound from electric to acoustic, but like you said, if you're just part of and sometimes that's the reason I'm nervous when I get off stage, because I have no idea what I've done, and
yeah, yeah. Oh,
feedback
I'm glad you said that. Nobody else has ever confirmed that to me. Me and my vocalist talk about it all the time, but nobody else has ever been like, "Yeah, that's what happens to me too."
yeah,
It, words just can't describe that moment. You hop off like, "Wait, what did I do?" And
yeah,
you're analyzing. You have to watch. It's like watching the playbook, the
yeah,
playback on the video,
right,
trying to remember what did
right,
I do that there? Did you do that? That sounded amazing. It felt great, but
yeah.
what did actually happen?
Exactly. And sometimes what happens is that you think that it was pretty bad. And I record most of my sets, and I'm scared to watch it because I don't want to feel pathetic and miserable making those mistakes, whether it is music or comedy. But if I give it a week or two, and I don't post it, and then I just put it on the big TV, and I feel that it wasn't that bad. Uh,
Yeah.
because sometimes my drummer says, then why were you being such an asshole when you got off stage? Were you drunk or what was going on? I said, I'm not sure. Did we do good? Did we do well? Because usually when people meet you out when you get off stage, their response tells you. And but I'm confused. I'm very nervous, and sometimes I feel that they are being sarcastic or just trying to be
Too polite. Yeah.
patronizing. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's all good because, like you mentioned, it's a different dimension.
Completely different.
Yeah.
And that's why I love shows. This is why I like wrestling too. I don't know if you watch wrestling at all, but
I mean, I'm a
um,
huge UFC fan and MMA fan actually, and I'm working on an app as well for that as well, and I have a podcast for that as
oh,
well.
nice. What about like WWE, things like that?
I used to be until it was
Yeah,
WWF, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Their business model and the way they think about business is the thing that's kind of pushed me forward the most is analyzing how like the insider business of WWF, WWE, AEW, WCW, all these companies, the way that they think about how to activate people's hatred or love of somebody, how to get the crowd to react a certain way, how they're in the business of creating emotional moments. Period. That's
yeah.
all they do. And so watching them do that and learning how they facilitate those moments, um, I love being in that atmosphere when I go to those shows
Mhm.
because you can feel the crowd more so than you can. It's almost like going to a football game, but somebody's winning it every 5 minutes instead of every every 3 hours. Um, they know how to cultivate that emotion and grab people and get a whole crowd reacting, and then you get there's an energy within that you just can't get from seeing it on television.
That's true. That's true. I
And
mean, for me, it's just like Shakespeare,
yeah,
just the theatrics are more physical. That's it. It's all
yeah,
drama, it's all storytelling, coming
hmm
back to music as well. There should be something like Michael Jackson used to say that your song should stand out, it should pop out, it should be different
right.
because
Should be different.
yeah, because every song is based on the same 15 chords, and there's not much difference. But how you package it and how you make it stand out, whether it is instrumentation, whether it is story, whether it is sound, whether it is just simplicity. Like like you mentioned that overproducing everything. I
Yeah,
listened to Deep Purple's Nobody's Perfect album, and I cannot believe that it's all recorded live. It's better than
yeah.
any studio.
So we're talking Rick Rubin. I think he did the Rage Against the Machines album, and when I found out that they recorded that entire album in the studio all at once in the same room and not separate takes, blew my mind.
Yes.
My favorite album is that
Yes.
Rage Against the Machines album. What's the name of it? Shoot, I can't
Gorilla
remember
Radio.
that.
Gorilla
The
Radio.
one with the sun on the front. Was that?
Gorilla Radio.
Yes, it's got that one on it. My
I
internet's down, otherwise I'll look it up.
I went to their concert in Madison Square Garden recently, and it was just amazing. I mean, and all the like you mentioned, storytelling. I
Yeah,
recently saw one of the Young Turks podcast, and they wore clothes of Guantanamo Bay prisoners, and played
yeah,
even with those masks, black masks on their face, and yeah, it's about having a sense of purpose, like again, and even in entrepreneurship, whether it is Amazon, whether it is Tesla, whether it is OpenAI. It's
yeah,
all about having a sense of purpose, and that's what drives people.
yeah. Knowing what your mission is and communicating it 100%. Yeah.
So, David, thank you so much for your time. I
Yeah.
took more than an hour, and it
Happy to
was
go.
wonderful talking to you. And
You
I'll
too.
share the link with you as soon as I post it. And thank you. And you'd like to share any details about your boot camp or your, the program that you offer?
Yeah, so I've got a book coming out in 3 weeks. It's called The Musician's Feast or Famine Playbook. The goal of the book is to again try to help starving artists go to full-time music, quit your job. That's basically it. Because on my end, being a coach consultant, a lot of musicians can't afford to pay somebody to talk them through their business model and help them out. And a lot of that comes down to the fact that 10% of musicians actually make a living with their music, and so I wanted to fix that. And so because of that, I've opened up a free Monday morning mindset coaching to help people get to that point where they can just quit their 9 to 5 jobs and focus on music full time, so that hopefully I bring enough value in those free calls that you can afford to pay me at some point to help build a brand and build a business behind what you're doing. So that's my goal.
That's great. That's great.
Um, so it's open now. I have a limit of 100 people. I think I'm like 35 deep right now. So demo, what's my Instagram? Demo underscore nation dot live. It's my podcast. You can DM me there, and I can get you in and get you the application, or you can just email David at Wilkerson dot media. And yeah, I think that's it. That's everything.
All right. Thank you so much again
Thank you.
for coming on our podcast, and keep doing the good work, and keep spreading the good message of music, because like we just decided that that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Take
We
care.
have we have a moral obligation to make great music because nobody else is going to do it, and it's
Yes,
so
absolutely.
transformative.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And
yeah,
like anything else, every piece of song that we write, it's based on the specific matrix in which we are living, whether it is the environment in which we are,
mhm,
or our experiences or our observations. So it's very unique, and it's that connection that matters.
absolutely. Yeah, so many people's lives gets changed just because of music,
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah.
and
A
yeah,
single song can change. I'm not sure if you remember. Uh, there was a song that of Ozzy that they used to find in every second suicide back in 80s.
yeah, yeah,
Every suicide that was being committed then, and they used to find Ozzy's this song playing. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is that song can have. Really impact your life, and for in my case it has changed many times over.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I've had so many people message me and say, "Oh, my life's been changed because of that song," and 3 or 4 people. That's all that it takes to have it be worth it. So keep
Yes.
doing what you're doing. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. I got to go deal with 4 kids now.
Sure.
But
You're
have a
welcome.
great day.
You too. Bye bye. Bye.